You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Roger Sharp Activity Center in Muldrow, Oklahoma. My name is Clint Davis. Alongside me is my broadcast partner, Dennis McCaslin, and we are with todayinfortsmith.com, broadcasting Muldrow High School basketball live, and we're about getting ready for the tip-off here. Dennis, how you feel about these games tonight?
Well, it should be exciting games. You know, this past week, Clint, the Bulldogs got some big wins by knocking off their rivals from Roland. In fact, the Roland boys knocked off a highly rated, the Muldrow boys knocked off a highly rated Roland team. So
Absolutely.
We're ready to go.
Lady Bulldogs won the tip, and they are passing it out conservatively around the outside. And here's a shot for three to open the game, and that's missed. Rebound by Shaylin Mays, and she's going to get fouled on the putback. Shaylin Mays is usually good for the first 2 points of the game. That's something I've noticed the more we've done these broadcasts. Here's the inbound pass. Back down to Boyette, down low, back out to Cameron Johnson. And there's going to be a jump ball. They're going to tie it up. That's going to go toward the Spiro Lady Bulldogs. No score, 7:35 in the first quarter. We are directly behind the cheerleaders. Conservative passing around the outer edge, and a three-point shot by the Lady Bulldogs is no good. Rebounded by the Lady Bulldogs. Looking around outside, pass over to the left. Looking down low. Pass back out to the top, and stolen by Hannah Boyette. She's on a fast break, and that layup is good for the first 2 points of the game. Hannah Boyette puts them over the Bulldogs 2-0. Full court pressure here from the Lady Bulldogs. Spiro almost with nowhere to go. Taylor Collins with heavy defense, and she's going to knock the ball out of bounds. And that will go towards Spiro. Dennis, we've got a lot of Lady Bulldogs on both sides of the ball here, so we're going to have to use Muldrow and Spiro tonight. That way people know who we're talking about. The Red Dogs and the White Dogs. And the White Dogs, the Lady Muldrow.
Or the Red Dogs and the White Dogs.
Here's Taylor Collins. Bringing the ball up over to Hannah Boyette for three. And that's good. Hannah Boyette with the next 3 points of the game. Gives the Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow a score of 5-0.
And obviously the answer to the hypothetical question, who let the dogs out, somebody let them all out tonight.
Trying to bring the ball up the floor. Shaylin Mays with some heavy full court defense here. There's going to be a pass down low to number 10, and she's going to put up a shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Spiro. There's a shot up by number 32, and that's no good. Rebound by Shaylin Mays. Pass out to Cameron Johnson. Fast break, Hannah Boyette. She almost missed that pass. There's a pass down low. Taylor Collins up for two, and that's no good. Taylor Collins gets fouled. They're going to whistle a 0. Cassidy Means from Spiro. She's going to get that foul. Taylor Collins is at the line to see if she can put in her first 2 points of the ball game. First shot is up. And that's no good. Bounces in and out. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs still lead 5-0. 6:02 left in the first quarter. Taylor Collins' second free throw on its way. And that's good. The Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow lead 6-0. Full court defense here, and a steal from Taylor Collins, and she puts one in for two. And Muldrow leads this one 8-0. More full court defense. Another pickoff by Muldrow. That's going to be knocked out of bounds by Hannah Boyette. This is some very impressive defense coming from these Lady Bulldogs, and we expect a lot of momentum from them, being 5-0 now on the season. Here's the inbound pass from Spiro. They're going to pass the ball up the floor and on a fast break, and a shot up and no good. Rebound by Shaylin Mays. And they're going to call her over the back, so the Spiro Lady Bulldogs are going to retain possession. Pass inbound. Apologize for the noise. That's Dennis with his headset there. There's a shot for three from Spiro, and that's no good. Rebounded by Spiro, put back up. That's no good. Rebound by Shaylin Mays. And the Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow are headed back down to their first half territory. There's a pass down low to Taylon Collins from Madison Chambers. The shot's up and no good. Rebound by Shaylin Mays. Put back up for 2 points. And Muldrow leads this one 10-0. Spiro with the ball. Passing around the outside edge. Pass up top, back out to the left. He's going to drive down low. There's nowhere to go with Taylon Collins in front. Pass out to the left again for 3. And that's no good. Rebounded by Taylon Collins. Muldrow with a fast break here. Taylon Collins dishes it off to Madison Chambers for 2. And Muldrow leads this one 12-0 with 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. And Coach Armour is going to make her first substitution momentarily with Paige Hughes coming into the game. But not before this next fast break here. Taylon Collins is slowing the ball up, and that's going to be stolen by Spiro. Spiro with a fast break. Dish it off down low, and there's Spiro's first 2 points of the game. Put in by number 10, Talia Clayton. Hannah Boyette with the ball, bringing it back down the floor. Madison Chambers out on the right, down Shaylin Mays, and she's going to drive in. Puts up a shot, and that's going to be no good. Spiro with the rebound. And Spiro passing conservatively. With a shot up, and that's also no good. Another shot up, and she's going to get fouled on that play.
You know, Clint, this quick start for the Muldrow girls is not unexpected. You know, Spiro 1-3 on the year, and they lost to Poto 73-54 on Tuesday, and that's a team that the Bulldogs beat pretty handily.
Yeah, Muldrow put it on the Lady Pirates of Poto pretty good here. Just a couple of weeks ago we saw that game. Here's the first shot up, and that's no good. Number 15, Hannah Tobler, is at the line. She's a senior for Spiro. And she will attempt her second shot, and that is no good. Rebound by Taylon Collins. Fast break over to Paige Hughes on the right side. She's going to slow it up and give it up to Hannah Boyette. Back to Paige Hughes, back to Boyette for 3. And that's no good. There's a rebound by Cameron Johnson out to Paige Hughes, back out to Hannah Boyette. Alicia McCloria is also in the game for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. We're going to get these Bulldogs straightened out here before long. Back out to Paige Hughes. Back out to Hannah Boyette. Taylon Collins with the good pick. And the pass is picked off. Spiro with the ball, pushing down the floor, and number 10 is going to slow it up. That's Talia Clayton. She's going to slow things down for Spiro, which might be a good thing, being down by 10 points so early in the game. Pass off to the right-hand side, and a shot thrown up. No good. Rebound by Hannah Boyette. She's charging down the floor on a fast break, and she pulls up for a jumper, and that shot is no good. So we're going to have a foul out of bounds here. Inbound pass over to Paige Hughes for 3, and that's good. Paige Hughes nails one. And that's going to put Muldrow up 15-2 with 2:40 left in the first quarter. Full court pressure here from Muldrow, and Paige Hughes knocks the ball loose. And we're going to get a jump ball, and that is going to send it back toward Muldrow. They will retain possession here. Or they will regain possession. Paige Hughes. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Paige Hughes. We have number 5 with the ball for Muldrow, and we don't have her on the roster. So we're going to have to figure out who number 5 is for the Lady Bulldogs. Back over to Brianna Dawes is in the game. Pass back out to Paige Hughes, over to McCloria. They're looking for Taylon Collins, but she's double-teamed down low. Still passing around the outside. McCloria. Pass back over to number 5 from Muldrow. And a pass down low to McCloria gets picked off, and she regains possession. And then Spiro with a jump ball. That's going to go back towards Spiro. And we're going to have to, Hannah Tobler, we're going to have to calm her down. She looked like a raging bull. Number 5 is Chelsea Possich for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. There's McCloria with the steal, and she's pushing down the floor. She's going to slow things down for Muldrow. Pass back out to Possich. Back over to McCloria. Not a lot of movement down low. Back over to McCloria for 3. And that's no good. Rebound by Taylon Collins. Put back for 2 points. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead this 17-2 with 1:25 left in the first quarter. And we saw Alicia McCloria. She knocked down a good set of three-pointers in the Roland game on Tuesday, and I thought she was going to do the same thing just now. Spiro trying to keep possession of the ball. There's a three-point shot up from the other end, and that's no good. Rebounded by Spiro. Tobler with the ball. Almost gets picked off. Pass back down low. Back up top, and another three-point shot for Spiro is no good. Rebounded again by Spiro. Put back up for 2 points to give Spiro 4 points in this game, and Muldrow still leads by 13, 17-4. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs passing the ball around. Back out to Brianna Dawes for three. And that's good. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead this one 20-4 with 26 seconds left in the first quarter. Spiro with the inbound pass. And there's a loose ball regained by Spiro. 12 seconds left on the clock. Not very good ball movement by Spiro here. Taylon Collins with pressure on the outside. There's a shot up and no good. Rebounded by Spiro, and they're just going to run this clock smooth out of time, and we're going to take a break. After this first quarter, we're going to get a word from our sponsors. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And the ball is back inbounds here for Muldrow Lady Bulldogs, and we're going to start the second quarter at 20-4 in favor of the Bulldogs. Moving the ball around the outside. Paige Hughes with it now. Brianna Dawes for another three, and that's no good. And the ball's knocked around, put back up by Brianna Dawes, and that's good for 2 points. 22-4, the Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow lead Spiro. Spiro pushing the ball down the floor now. A little bit of ball movement outside. Held up at the key, passed over to the left side. Back out to the top of the key. Almost a double dribble there. Muldrow with heavy defense in this game. They have not let off the gas since the first whistle. Spiro cannot find a look inside. They can't find a lane to drive in, and there's a shot and a prayer thrown up by Spiro, and that shot is absolutely no good. A whistle and a foul here against the Lady Bulldogs. There's a shot up, and that first free throw is no good. Spiro is attempting to buy buckets, and they can't do it, Dennis.
And you mentioned Passage. You weren't with me Tuesday night when I did the games on Tuesday night from Roland, but Passage came into the game and had 7 points.
Most definitely. Spiro's second free throw was good, so now they have 5 points in the game. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs with the ball and the lead 22-5. 6:50 left in the second quarter. Hannah Boyette passes it off to Passage. Back to Boyette for three. And that's off the mark. Rebounded by Passage. Pass down low to Madison Chambers. Beautiful ball movement for another 2 points by number 23. And she puts Muldrow up 24-5. Spiro with the ball back down on the other side of the floor. We are stage right on the court, so we're looking all the way down the floor here. Here's a drive by Spiro, and 2 points are good. 24-7 now. Muldrow leads. Here's Madison Chambers with the ball. Back over to Passage. Back over to Brianna Dawes. She's looking down low and catches Hannah Boyette. Hannah Boyette loses the ball. Passage regains control. She's going to give it back to Boyette. Boyette's looking low. Maddie Reeves is also in the game for Muldrow. She's down low right now. There's Boyette back on the left side with the ball. Back to Passage. Back to Boyette, and she's going to drive. Back over to Brianna Dawes, and she looked for a three and passed it up. And there's a pass down low to Madison Chambers by Hannah Boyette, and that is good for another two. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead this 26-7 with 5:30 left in the second quarter. Shaylin Mays and Cameron Johnson have gotten up off the bench. They're sitting in front of the desk, ready to check back into the ball game for Muldrow. Spiro Lady Bulldogs with the ball, passing it around the outside. There's a shot for two, and that's no good. Rebounded by Hannah Boyette, and she's going to take the ball down the floor and pass it off to Madison Chambers. Madison Chambers under the hoop and puts one up, no good. And the ball gets loose and goes out of bounds, and that is going to be Spiro ball. So we're going to see Taylon Collins, Shaylin Mays, and Cameron Johnson come back in for the Lady Bulldogs. Spiro with the inbound pass. Looking for a place to go. Taylon Collins gets a hand on the ball with a fast break, and she's up for two, and that's good. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 28-7 with 4:40 left in the second quarter. Spiro with the inbound pass again. Seems to be the theme of the night. Muldrow scores, and Spiro throws it back in. There's a shot up, no good. Cameron Johnson with the rebound. Muldrow's on a fast break. Cameron Johnson's going to slow it down. Pass it over to Hannah Boyette. She's got Taylon Collins down low, but she looks for Shaylin Mays instead, and Shaylin Mays with a bad pass to Taylon Collins gets picked off, and Spiro is headed back down the floor. Hannah Boyette is looking for blood, and she misses a picked-off pass. And there's Madison Chambers with a rebound after a Spiro miss, headed back down the floor. And Hannah Boyette with an ankle breaker. Almost loses the ball out of bounds. Madison Chambers tries to save it and throws it right back to Spiro. And the Spiro Lady Bulldogs with the ball. Looking for some movement, almost tripped up. Passing the ball around the outside. There's a shot for two by Spiro, and that's in and out. And rebounded by Spiro. There's a shot for three. That's no good. Rebounded by Hannah Boyette. Passed off to Madison Chambers, and she's going to pull up for a jumper and misses. Spiro with the rebound. Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow still lead 28-7. 3:15 left in the second quarter. Spiro passed the ball down low, looking for a lane, and can't find anywhere to go. Hannah Boyette picks off the pass. She's going to pass it off to Taylon Collins, and Taylon's going to pass it back into Madison Chambers. Madison's up. A two-point shot is no good under the basket, and Spiro with the rebound. Full court defense here from Muldrow. Passing around the outside. Possibly looking for another lane to drive for Spiro. They haven't had much room. There's a shot up, and no good, and that's rebounded by Shaylin Mays. And she's going to throw it out to Hannah Boyette. Hannah's going to bring the ball up the floor like she normally does, calling for a signal. Looking for a good offensive play here. Over to the right side to Cameron Johnson. Back out to Taylon Collins. Down low to Taylon Collins. And that's in for two. Hannah Boyette with the assist out of nowhere, and that's going to be a timeout. And we're going to take a break and a word from our sponsors. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we're going to bring it back up live after the timeout. Here's an inbound pass by Spiro. Spiro with a drive on the inside, pass back out to the outside. There's a pass back out to the outside, and she thought about taking a shot and gives it off to 0, and that's no good. And here's Alicia McCloria driving down the floor, and she's going to dish it off to Taylon Collins. They're going to whistle Taylon Collins for a walk. That's going to give the ball right back to Spiro with 1:28 left in the second quarter. We're almost at halftime, and the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 30-7. And there's a shot for three by Spiro, and that's no good. Rebound by Taylon Collins, and she's going to push it up the floor, and she's going to look and gets fouled, passing the ball off. I wondered how they were going to call that. That's going to be another foul on Talia Clayton. We're still not, I don't believe we're going to hit the bonus in this half. 4 fouls apiece for Muldrow and Spiro. There's the inbound pass out to Paige Hughes, and Paige is going to look to Passage. Back to Hughes. Back out to Passage. Back out to McCloria. Back out to Passage, down low to Taylon Collins, turn around, put up the shot, and that's good for two with the foul. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead this one 32-7 with 49.6 seconds left in the second quarter. Muldrow's boys team and Spiro's are headed to the locker rooms. It's almost halftime here in Muldrow. And the shot's up by Taylon Collins, and that's off the mark. Taylon Collins not doing too well tonight from the free throw line. There's some opportunities to work on in practice next week. Spiro with the ball. There's a little drive and a shot for three, and that's no good. Rebound by Taylon Collins. She's going to drive the ball up the floor. There's a pass over to Passage. Erica Jenkins, number 20, is in the game for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. And she's going to dish it off to McCloria inside the three-point line, and that's good for two. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 34-7 with 12 seconds left. Spiro with the ball. They might finish out the half here. Looking for a three-point shot, and the ball gets stuck in the rim with 3.7 seconds. Taylon Collins just kind of jumps up there like it's no big deal with her 6'1" frame, and she knocks the ball out of the backboard rim area. She didn't give that jump much effort either. Here's the inbound pass, 2 seconds left from Spiro. There's a shot for three, no good. And that's going to do it at the end of the first half here. Spiro is down 34-7. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs with a commanding lead. And we're going to take you into a looping break from a word from our sponsors. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Pier 1 Photography and Design. We're going to I need to bring my my script up here. We didn't have an ad for them. Pier 1 Photography and Designs in the River Valley. Call Amy and Tammy. They do newborn and family photo shoots, T-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, hand-painted wood signs, and anything that can be personalized. Find them on Facebook at Pier 1 Photography and Designs or call 479-461-3747. And here is the inbound pass from the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. Shaylin Mays with a shot up, no good, with her own rebound with another shot up, and it is good. The Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow come out strong with another 2 points on the board. And Spiro moving the ball around now. Down 36-7. There's a shot up, and that's in by 00 Cassidy Means. And here comes Hannah Boyette and her Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow. Back out to Cameron Johnson, over to Boyette. Oh, you don't want to leave her open for three. She almost took it. She passed it down low to Taylon Collins. And Taylon Collins went up for the shot and seemed to have walked in the process. And here comes Spiro pushing the ball back up real slow. No full court defense from Muldrow like we saw in the first half. But it paid off for Muldrow with this 36-9 lead. And here is Spiro moving the ball around. They cannot find anywhere to go with this basketball. That's been the theme of the night, too. Here's pass back out to the left side. Another pass back out into the corner with a drive and another pass back outside. Spiro is having a rough time finding somewhere to go with this basketball. There's a drive and a pass back out to the right, and that's a 2-point shot. And it's good for Spiro, and the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead Spiro 36-11 with 6:17 left in the third quarter. There's Hannah Boyette. Pass to Cameron Johnson, down low to Shaylin Mays, and Shaylin Mays passes it off to Madison Chambers, back out to Boyette. Back out to Chambers, back down to Collins in the corner. Back out to Cameron Johnson. Here's a 2-point shot up, and it's in and out. And Spiro looks like they've got the rebound, and they're going to whistle Shaylin Mays with the foul. That's going to give the ball back to Spiro coming back down the floor. 36-11. Muldrow leads Spiro. 5:47 left in the third quarter. More passing around outside, almost picked off by Madison Chambers. Madison's been fairly aggressive tonight. Some points down low, some rebounds down low. A couple of steals for her. Spiro looking for a lane to drive and can't find one, and there Taylon Collins almost picks off the pass. Knocked out of bounds again, and Spiro will retain possession. Here's the inbound pass. Spiro with the ball. Pass back out to the top, back down onto the right side. She almost put a shot up. Ooh, a little bit of foot movement there. There's another pass to the outside. Spiro is frustrated, trying to move this ball around, and there is a bad pass by Spiro out of bounds, and Muldrow will regain possession of this basketball. There's the inbound pass to Hannah Boyette from Madison Chambers. Back to Madison Chambers for three. That's no good. And it looks like, here comes Spiro. There's another pass back out to the outside. Shot up, and that's good for two. By number 10, Talia Clayton. She's got 2 more points on the board. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 36-13 with 4:34 left in the third quarter. Paige Hughes moving the ball around to McCloria, back out to Brianna Dawes, back out to McCloria, back to Hughes, back to Dawes, back to Paige Hughes out top, back to McCloria on the right-hand side, down low to Maddie Reeves, and she's going to get a jump ball. Somebody's going to tie her up down low, and that gives the ball back to the Spiro Lady Bulldogs. Still the same score, 36-13, 4:15 left in the third quarter. Spiro pushing the ball up the floor slowly. There's a pass into the inside lane and pass back out to the outside, and she's going to lose that ball. Pass back to the top of the key, over to the left side, and nowhere to go. Double team. And there's a drive to the inside and a floater, and that's no good. Spiro with the rebound, and there's another pass out to the top of the key for three. And that shot is no good. Rebound by Maddie Reeves, and she's going to pass it out to Paige Hughes, and we're going to see the Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow back down in their territory. There's Passage is back in the game. Brianna Dawes with the ball. Pass back out to McCloria, back to Passage. And she's going to look for Maddie Reeves, and I believe Maddie Reeves was fouled in the process. 0. Cassidy Means for Spiro with another foul. And McCloria, nowhere to go. And there's Passage for 3. And that's no good. Rebound by Spiro with a fast break. And she double-handed that ball, but they didn't call that one. So Spiro passing the ball around the outside. There's another three-point shot from Spiro, and that's no good. Rebounded by Brianna Dawes. Brianna's also been fairly aggressive in this game, and she's got the ball out on the back down to Paige Hughes, back to Dawes. McCloria thought about a three-point shot and passed it back to Dawes, back to Passage. Looking down low. Maddie Reeves has been open this whole entire time, but they're not looking down low. You would think with a girl 6'2", they would look for that arm being stretched. And there's a push-off foul by number 10, Talia Clayton, on Passage. And Muldrow keeps the ball. Still the same score, 36-13. With 2 minutes, 40 seconds left here in the third quarter. Muldrow moving the ball around. Pass down low to Maddie Reeves, and she puts up a shot and gets hammered. And all they did was call this out of bounds. So Muldrow does keep the ball. But we should see Maddie Reeves go to the line for 2, and we're not. Ball's inbounded by Muldrow. There's a pass to Dawes, pass to McCloria for 3. And that's no good. And there's a rebound by Passage, and she kicks it out to Brianna Dawes and throws the ball out of bounds. Spiro will get the ball. We're going to have a gigantic substitution in here. We're going to have Cameron Johnson, Shaylin Mays, Madison Chambers, Taylon Collins, and Hannah Boyette in the game. Spiro's got the ball now, and the ball's knocked loose by Taylon Collins, and she regains the ball and then loses it again, and Spiro regains the ball. And they're charging down the floor, and Taylon Collins is going for another steal, and Spiro with a two-point shot up, and that's good. And the Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow still lead 36-15 with 1:26 left in the third quarter. There's going to be a foul on number 32. Cameron Johnson with the ball on the outside. Skip pass over to Hannah Boyette. She's looking again. There's Cameron Johnson down low to Shaylin Mays, and she's going to turn around and give it back to Cameron Johnson for 2, and that's good. Muldrow pulls ahead 38-15 with 1 minute left in the third quarter here. Only one team foul for Muldrow in this quarter. 3 for Spiro, and there's a drive by Spiro and shot up and no good. Madison Chambers looked like she didn't know what they called that on, but that is going to be a foul on number 23. There is an air ball on the free throw by number 10, Talia Clayton for Spiro, and the crowd is letting her know about it. Second shot up, and that's no good. Rebound by Shaylin Mays here for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. Madison Chambers is going to push the ball up the floor. Out to Hannah Boyette on the left side, and back out to Madison Chambers up top, back to Boyette on the left, back to Chambers, and they're going to play keep away from Spiro at this point, I believe. They don't want to dish it off into the corner because they'll get a double-team trap going. Whoa, that was a ridiculous foul by number 10, Talia Clayton. We've seen a lot of attitude with this one, and that foul looked about as flagrant as it could get, but they're not going to call it like that because Spiro needs all the help they can get at this point. Here's Muldrow Lady Bulldogs with the ball. Passing the ball around the top. Madison Chambers back to Hannah Boyette. We've got 20 seconds left on the clock. And here's Madison Chambers with the ball. Back to Boyette. Out to Cameron Johnson. Back out to Hannah Boyette. Pass it off down low to Cameron Johnson, and she's going to give it off to Shaylin Mays, and the ball is lost out of bounds with 2.8 seconds left in the third quarter. Spiro's going to try to move the ball as quickly as they can before we take another break. Here's the inbound pass, and here's a half-court shot at the buzzer, and that's no good, and we're going to take you to a word from Salisaw Ford. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we had to cut that one short here. We will hear from Divine Lines at some point. And we are back with fourth quarter action live from the Roger Sharp Activity Center in Muldrow, Oklahoma. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs have the ball. Passing it around the outside with a commanding lead, 38-15 in this ball game. And there's Paige Hughes. And she misses a shot. That's going to be rebounded by Brianna Dawes. Back to Hughes. She's going to kick it to McCloria. Back to Hughes. Back to McCloria. Brianna Dawes is moving around. There's Passage on the left side with the ball now. Back to Brianna Dawes in the corner, and you don't want to turn her loose in the corner either. And that ball is knocked out of bounds by Spiro. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs will retain possession. 7:16 left in the fourth quarter. Only 2 team fouls for Muldrow in this whole half. 4 for Spiro. So we're not near the bonus yet. Here's Brianna Dawes after the inbound pass. Skip pass over to Paige Hughes. Out to Passage. Passage drives and puts up a shot for 2. That was beautiful. Passage is probably one of the smallest girls on the court. Chelsea Passage, number 5 for Muldrow, and she just made that one look like Thanksgiving dinner. Here's a shot for 2 points by the Spiro Lady Bulldogs by number 25. That's going to be Brianna Hartsfield. And Muldrow with the ball. Alicia McCloria falls down, and they're going to give a jump ball on the floor and point the possession back to Spiro. Spiro's defense finally picking it up a little bit, tying that ball up, and now Spiro is passing the ball around the outside. Pass out to the left for 3, and that's no good. Hits the top of the backboard, and that's going to go out of bounds. The Lady Bulldogs, Brianna Dawes is going to pass it in to Chelsea Passage here, and she's going to bring the ball up the floor for Muldrow. 6:13 left in the ball game. Fourth quarter action. Muldrow's on top 40-17, about to extend their season record to 6-0. One of the best teams in the state, still undefeated. Brianna Dawes almost looks for 3, passes it to McCloria, back to Brianna Dawes, back to Paige Hughes. Down low to McCloria, back out to Brianna Dawes. A lot of ball movement. Back to Passage in the corner. Back down to Maddie Reeves down low, and Maddie Reeves puts in 2 points for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs, and they lead 42-17 with 5.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Here's a drive by Spiro, pass back out to the outside for 3, and that's no good. Rebounded by Brianna Dawes, and they're on a fast break. The Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow kicked it off to Chelsea Passage and passed down to Paige Hughes, and she's going to pull it out a little bit, and there is going to go back to McCloria, back to Passage. Oh, and Brianna Dawes can't figure out what to do with the ball. I think she got popped in the mouth. We're going to see Jenkins check back into the game. Erica Jenkins is coming back in, number 20 for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. There's a lot of movement in the bleachers. I believe the men's basketball teams for both sides are headed back to the locker rooms. 5:10 left in the fourth quarter. Spiro with the ball. Muldrow with a commanding 42-17 lead, and Alicia McCloria picks off that ball, and she's driving it down the floor, and she looks down low for Passage. Passage out to Paige Hughes, out to McCloria for 3, and that's good. They're going to give her 2 on that. I believe she stepped just over the line. We've got a bad angle on that three-point line down on Muldrow's side, so the Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow lead Spiro 44-17 with 4:38 left in the ball game. There's a pass down low, almost lost, and Paige Hughes is going to get whistled for the foul down low, and that's going to send number 5, Sydney Haynes, and she's going to shoot 2 here. She needed a breather for a minute. Here's the second shot up for Spiro, no good. Rebounded by Brianna Dawes. There's a pass down to Passage, and she's going to drive and put up a shot, and that's going to hit nowhere near the basket, and that's going to be another foul. Chelsea Passage completely off the mark on that first free throw. Nothing but air, and I don't believe there are enough Spiro fans here to let her know how they feel about that shot. There's another one, and that's good. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 45-17 with 4:23 left in the fourth quarter in the ball game. Spiro kicking the ball around, almost lost the ball, and they're going to pass it out. That's going to be a lost ball. Last touch by Muldrow. Spiro Lady Bulldogs retain possession. Here's the inbound pass. Spiro with a shot up for 2. No good. Rebounded by Muldrow, and that's Lacey Smithson back in the game. That's actually the first time we've seen her tonight. When I say back in the game, I'm talking about I have seen her multiple times over the last few weeks. So Lacey Smithson with the rebound. Muldrow with the ball here, and that's going to be picked off by Spiro with a fast break, and shots up. That's no good, but there is a foul on the play. There's the first shot up and good for Spiro. Spiro is inching closer to 20 points for the entire ball game. Muldrow still leads 45-18. There's a second shot up, and that's good. Jenkins with the ball out of bounds, passes the ball in to Passage, and McCloria's got the ball back out to Passage. Back to McCloria for three, and that is good. Alicia McCloria sinks another three-point shot, just like she did on Tuesday against the Roland Lady Rangers. And here's a shot by Spiro, no good, rebounded by Lacey Smithson. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs pushing the ball back up the floor, passing the ball around the outside. And that pass is going to be picked off, last touched by Megan Powell for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. Here's a drive by Spiro, shot up for three, and that's no good, rebounded by Passage. And she takes off down the floor and loses the ball, and that's regained by Spiro, and now they're going to call a jump ball. And we're going to see number 4, Autumn Phelps, is going to come into the ball game for Muldrow. 2:55 left in the ball game here in the fourth quarter in Muldrow, Oklahoma. Muldrow leads 48-19. About to move to 6-0 on the season. These Lady Bulldogs are perfect so far. Phelps almost loses the ball, and then she gets it picked off. And here's Spiro driving the ball back down the floor. Pass out to the outside. And here's a shot by Spiro, and that's no good. Rebounded by Spiro, put back by Spiro, no good. Erica Jenkins with some stout defense on that play. And the ball gets thrown out of bounds by Muldrow. We've got deuces on the clock, 2:22 left in the fourth quarter. Chelsea Passage is going to come out of the game. Number 13, Lauren McCoy, a 5'4" sophomore, is going to check into the ball game here. Every single one of them. They've all broken a sweat. Here's a shot by Spiro. That's good. Spiro has broken 20 points. It's 48-21 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Not a lot of fouling going on here. Well, I say that. Now they're going to call that a jump ball. And I don't know how this is working. It seems like every time we have a jump ball, the ball ends up going back down to Spiro. So Spiro's going to get the ball back here, which may only be fair at this point with this. Right, exactly. Advantage Spiro here.
Like tennis
ball
scoring.
on the outside on the
Spiro.
perimeter. There's a three-point shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Spiro. Is actually off the top of somebody's head. And here is the actual rebound. Goes to Muldrow. Megan Powell picks that ball up. Clear. There's Erica Jenkins out top with the ball. She's going to pass it off to the outside. And
clear.
a little movement down low. Spiro picks off the pass on a fast break and puts up a shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by the Lady Bulldogs. Autumn Phelps, number 4, and she's going to dish the ball off. Jenkins has the ball now. 1 minute, 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Muldrow passing conservatively around the perimeter. No sense in getting in a hurry. And I don't know what that call was. Possibly an official timeout to get a couple of subs in the ball game for Spiro. Ball inbounded again by Muldrow. Erica Jenkins has the ball. Dishing it off into the corner, and they're going to look around here. Pass down low to Phelps, back outside to Jenkins. And there's a drive with a loose ball, and the ball is lost out of bounds, and that's advantage Spiro. The ball is going to head back down Spiro's way. 36 seconds left before the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs improve to 6-0 on the season, still undefeated. Spiro with the ball. There's a shot up for 2. That's no good. And they're going to lose that out of bounds. And advantage Spiro. The ball is going to stay with Spiro. It was out of bounds after the shot. I don't know how that stays with Spiro, but they're going to call it that way. I mean, that was literally 10 feet in front of me. No way to miss that. Here's a drive and a shot up. No good by Spiro. Another shot up, and that is good with 9 seconds left. And I believe the Lady Bulldogs are going to ride the storm out. 2 seconds left. And that's going to do it, folks. Your Muldrow Lady Bulldogs win this ball game over Spiro, 48-23. And improved to 6-0 on the season. There's a lot of exciting things coming up for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. We've got this Tournament of Champions coming up during the Christmas break. I'll be broadcasting that live from the Mabee Center at ORU, Oral Roberts University in Tulsa. We're going to take a break and go to a word from our sponsors, and we will be back with you shortly for the Muldrow boys basketball game at the Roger Sharp Activity Center right here in Muldrow, Oklahoma. This is Clint Davis and Dennis McCaslin on todayinfortsmith.com, and we will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com.